Hi, I'm Marshall. I'm the owner of Going Gear, and I'm here in our store in Smyrna, Georgia. This is the extended review of the Nitecore Tiny Monster TM16. All right, here we are with the Nitecore Tiny Monster TM16. Really cool light. Whole lot of things going on with this. You have a lot of lumens, a lot of distance, which is a pretty rare combination. So 4,000 lumens on max output, 520 hours of runtime on the lowest output, 700 meters of beam distance on the highest output, and then as always, you can get the full specs on our site, goinggear.com. Let's open it up, show you what you get on the inside. User manual. Nitecore has some of the best user manuals. Lots of good information in there. Tells you about the operation, tells you about the features. You got your little ANSI chart, so you can see it goes all the way down to 5 lumens. Talks about compatible batteries and all that kind of stuff. Here is the flashlight itself. Let's pull this guy out. Show you the other stuff that it comes with. So this is a pretty big light, no holster on this one. You have a lanyard and you have some spare O-rings if you want to use those when yours get used up or anything like that. Put that stuff back in, and let's take a little bit closer look at the flashlight. Get all this stuff out of the way. We'll zoom in a little bit. Now we don't have to try to get all the packaging in the frame. All right, here is the flashlight. So relatively compact. This thing is putting out 4,000 lumens, 700 meters of beam distance. You know, we have a lot of lights that are around this same size that don't come even close to either of those numbers. So it's a pretty impressive light. You have 2 switches, nice interface on there. Let's actually take a look at the LEDs. You can see you've got 4 Cree XML2 LEDs down in there, each with their own little separate reflector area. See if we can adjust the focus so you can see those a little bit better. There we go. So 4 Cree XML2 LEDs. Really nice beam on this one, and a whole lot of lumens, whole lot of distance. All right, we'll turn it around just so you can see the different parts. Pretty much in line with the rest of their flashlights. You know, Nitecore, you can, just like a lot of the brands, you can look at it and tell it's a Nitecore. But nice styling on this. Lots of heat sinking, lots of surface area fins on the head, so you're going to have really good heat dissipation. All right, let's talk about batteries. So the TM16 takes 4 18650s. Unlike a lot of lights that'll take CR123s or RCR123s in place of 18650s, this one cannot. You only can use 18650s in here. And the packaging on there, I don't know why they put this on here, but it says it's a rechargeable flashlight. This does not have built-in charging, so I'm not sure why they put that on there, but that's not that big of a deal. I honestly like to be able to pull the batteries out. That way you can quickly swap in some spares. Built-in charging isn't that big of a deal to me, but keep in mind this does not have built-in charging. So it takes 4 18650s, and the 18650s I have here are the brand new Olight 3600 milliamp hour 18650s. Highest capacity, really high quality batteries that we have, and they each come with their own carrying case. They actually come one battery to a carrying case, which is kind of cool. You have a way to store your batteries. But 4 18650s, so we're going to pull all these out and put them in the light. Here's the inside of the battery tube. Another nice thing that this has is built-in battery carrier. So you don't have to have a separate battery carrier where you pull it out and have to worry about losing it or breaking it or anything like that. It's actually integrated into the body. So we're going to slide all these batteries down in there. Take the silica packet out of there. Slide the batteries down in there. And we actually have bundles on the site where you can get the flashlight, the batteries, and the charger all together. Save you a little bit of money, so keep an eye on that if you don't already have batteries and a charger. You have these 2 prongs here. This thing actually spins, as you can see. And the 2 prongs, you just line them up with the holes in the body and screw it on there just so you make sure you have all the proper contact and all that kind of stuff. But we got the batteries in there. You're going to see this flash according to the voltage of the batteries. So it looks like we had, I think, 3.6 or 3.7. I didn't really count all the flashes and probably should have. But pretty good voltage on these. I'll make sure they're fully charged before we go outside. But it's kind of nice. You got that little indicator on the blue LED indicator right there on the switch that'll show you the voltage of the batteries when you put them in. So let's talk about the interface. So if you've seen the EA11, the EC11, the EA41, or any of their recent dual switch flashlights where the switches are side by side, pretty similar interface to all of those. So this power switch, the lower one, press it and it'll turn the light on. Press it again to turn the light off. When you have it on, press the top switch or the mode switch, and it'll cycle through your different outputs. Really good feeling to the switches. Nice soft rubber. They're easy to activate. They're pretty responsive. You got a little bit of tactile feedback, so you got a little bit of click there. Really nice switches. They did a good job on those. So basic operation of the light, that's it. Now these switches can do a lot of other stuff if you do special presses. For instance, if you double click the top switch while it's off, it'll go straight into strobe. Press and hold the bottom switch from off, and it'll go straight into the lowest output of those 5 lumens. You get really good battery life. You get that 520 hours of battery life. Great for up close kind of stuff. Press and hold the top switch while off, and it'll go straight to the max output of 5,000 lumens. So from off, you have instant access to the lowest output, the highest output, your memorized output, and strobe. You can get to a lot of different things from off. Really nice setup on the interface. So again, just tap that switch and it'll go into the bottom switch and it'll go into the last output you had it in. You can also get into some stuff while it's on. So if you double click while it's on, you can see it's just going to go through 2 different mode outputs. But if you press and hold while it's on the top switch, the mode switch, it'll go straight into strobe. Do it again and it'll go into a beacon flashing mode where it flashes every few seconds. Do it one more time and it's going to go into SOS. And then you can just tap the power switch to turn it off. And then tap it again to turn it back on. And then we're going to press and hold the power switch. And what it's going to do is go into a standby mode where it flashes every now and then. I don't think I pressed and hold it for long enough. Let's do that again. So we're going to press and hold. There we go. Oh, sorry. The standby is actually on the power switch on this one. I was thinking of the EA11 and EC11 where it's on the LED itself. But it's actually the built-in power indicator LED, the blue one that'll flash every few seconds and help give you kind of some indication of where it is at night. So it's kind of nice. You can turn that on, set it down, and be able to easily find it in the dark. And you get really good runtime on that. So if you're worried about it draining the batteries, Nitecore says that it'll last about 6 months on fully charged batteries in this standby mode. So you don't have to worry about it like draining the batteries overnight or anything like that. And then to get out of that, just do the same thing. Just press and hold for about a second, and it'll go back in to your regular illumination. You also have a lockout, so if you have it turned on, press and hold both switches, and then you'll see it flash, and it's in lockout mode. So you press the switches, and nothing turns on. So for long-term storage, it's kind of nice. Or then you can press and hold for about a second again, and it'll get it back out of that. So that way you're back into your regular illumination. Personally, if you're going to store it for a long term, I prefer you just loosen the tail cap. And you can see you've got to go pretty far to break the connection on this one. So it might be a better idea just to pull out the batteries if you're going to store it for long term. Get the Olight batteries, get the storage cases. That way you have a way to store the batteries. But if you're going to do this for like a bug out bag or anything like that, where you don't think you're going to be using it for long term, definitely a good idea to pull the batteries out. I mean, it's a good idea to recharge lithium ion batteries every 6 months or so anyway. So you don't really want to leave lithium ions just sitting in a light for long extended periods, because then they may die and you may not be able to recharge them. All right, so let's go over that interface again real quick. Got 2 switches here. The lower one, the power switch, press it to turn the light on. Top switch cycles through your different outputs. From off, if you press and hold the power switch, it'll go into the lowest output. Press and hold the top switch, it'll go into the highest output. Double click from off, and it'll go into strobe on the mode switch. And then you can, when it's on, press and hold the mode switch, and it'll go into strobe. And then you've got the beacon and the SOS as well, if you do the press and hold again. And then you have the press and hold both to go into lockout, press the power switch when on to go into standby. A lot of stuff going on in this light, and you'll see when it goes outside. When we go outside, it's a nice beam. It's putting out a lot of lumens, got a nice wide beam, and you get some really good distance. It's a really cool combination of a lot of things, and it does a pretty good job at just about everything. The only thing it doesn't do a good job at is fitting on in your pocket. This obviously isn't a compact EDC light, but it's not bad. It probably weighs a couple pounds with batteries in it, which isn't bad at all. It's not too heavy to carry. It's definitely a good truck light or like a bedside light or by your back door kind of light. It excels in putting out a lot of lumens and giving you really good distance. It's a nice all-around light. So that is the TM16. Let's take this outside and we'll show you how it does outside at a couple different distances. All right, we got the TM16 outside. Got the big 40 mag light that I always use as a control. Let's go and try out that mag light first. Show you how it does. Probably seen this 100 times if you watch my videos. All right, there is a tree about 30 feet away. Dock house down there on the lake is about 100 feet away. There's your mag light. Let's try out the Nitecore. There's your Nitecore on the lowest output. So 5 lumens on this thing actually makes it out to that little tree pretty well. Actually, I can actually see the dock house okay as well. There's your next output. There's your next one. There's your next one. There's your max. It keeps on getting brighter and brighter. Whole lot of lumens coming out of this thing. And one thing I didn't really mention before is this thing's relatively lightweight. You know, for the other large lumen or larger lights with a lot of lumens, this one compares pretty well to them. It's putting out a whole lot of light, and the weight on it's really not bad at all. It feels pretty light in the hand, really well balanced. But another thing you can see on here is how bright the spill is. So you got that really bright hot spot, good transition to the spill. Really bright spill, so it's lighting up just everything out there. And you can see the spill alone makes it out to that dock house 100 feet away. So you can imagine everything's just going to be lit up in front of you when you're kind of walking around. You know, you're not just going to light up what you're pointing the light at, which I really like about reflector lights versus the lights where you can adjust the focus. I'll show you those different outputs again. And then let's zoom in on the dock house just so you can see how well it's lit up down there. Lit up super well. Everything around it's lit up. You know, this isn't a super tightly focused beam. You got that really relatively large hotspot that's putting out a ton of lumens and then a really wide spill. Like I said, really nice combination of a lot of different things. The only thing you're not going to get is a compact pocket light out of this thing. But we have some more space. Let's try it out with some more space and see what it can do. All right, we got over 100 yards to try out the TM16. Let's go ahead and give it a shot. See what it can do. There is your max output of the full blast of the 4,000 lumens. First target on the right there is set up at 50 yards. One on the left is at 100 yards. Tree line beyond is 130 yards. All that's lit up really well. You can see everything that's going on out there really well. 4 o'clock in the morning, I'm having trouble talking. Imagine that. Boat right there is about 20 feet away. You can see how bright the spill is. I'll kind of shine the light up and you can see just the spill alone is making it out to that first target at 50 yards. Super bright spill. Lots of nice distance. You got that really bright hot spot that gives you the distance. I keep on playing with this light and I keep on liking it more and more. I made the first part of the video, or the first part of the outside video a couple days ago, and I've been playing with the light since, and I'm like, man, I really like this thing. It's really cool. It can do a lot of nice things. You got the different outputs. We'll cycle through those just so you can see what those can do. Let me actually zoom in while I'm going through the different outputs. I've got it on the low right now, and it makes it out to that boat at the 20 feet really well. And then when you crank it up, obviously it gets out to everything even better. All right, so that is the Tiny Monster TM16 from Nitecore. Really cool light. I like it. If you like it, you can get it from us at goinggear.com. We have a bundle where you can get the light, the batteries, the charger, all at once. You don't have to worry about which ones are compatible or anything like that. You get everything at once to save you a little bit of money. If you like the video, please subscribe. I do a lot of gear and flashlight videos. Any questions or comments, you can reach me in the comments or any of my guys at goinggear.com. As always, get going and start something. Thanks for watching.